Today we're looking at the rate plan and company analysis module within Spider. This is a good module to visit whenever it's RFP season and it's time to renegotiate some of those lower rated accounts. But also too, you can just use it as a bonus item on your weekly revenue call. So whenever the rate plan and company analysis module loads up, there's a lot going on. So at first you'll see on the left-hand side the description of the different accounts and rates. You'll see the actual rate or SRP itself. You'll see the room night production, ADR, revenue, as well as some variance columns that'll tell you how you're doing year over year. Over on the right-hand side of the table, you're going to notice some columns that maybe you haven't seen before using other systems. These are going to be a little bit more advanced, and this is for more of the detailed analysis of each of these different accounts and rates. So I'll walk through what some of these columns are and how they're calculated. So let's start first with your rate efficiency. So rate efficiency is the ADR of the account divided by the property-wide ADR. Next is your length of stay, and this one's pretty straightforward. This is just the average length of stay by each account or by each rate plan. The next column here is the percentage of room nights on nights that are 95% or higher occupancy. And that one is pretty much what it sounds like. It tells you the percentage of room nights from the particular account that stay on nights with 95% or higher occupancy divided by the total production, the total room night production from the account. Next is the displaced revenue column. So this just tells you the number of room nights that stay on those high occupancy nights multiplied by a blend of property-wide ADR and the bar rate for those very same nights. And then displaced revenue, the displaced revenue percentage is the percentage of the account's room nights that are displacing potentially higher rated business. Then you have the cost benefit column. This is the total revenue produced by this account minus displaced revenue. And then these two columns over here on the right, the wish rate and the opportunity. The wish rate is basically determined by an algorithm, but it gives you an ideal rate that this account should be at based on the stay pattern, the length of stay, and its current production. And then the opportunity is the amount of revenue that you're missing out on by not being at this optimal wish rate. So today I'd like to show you two quick examples. I've picked an account that I think is an example of maybe not a great account, maybe one that's kind of on the underperforming side, and then an account that I think is actually doing very well. So let's start and let's see if we can find an example here. I do have one picked out, so let's see. Let's take a look at this top account here, and I filtered by opportunity. So this is basically an account that has the biggest opportunity and biggest room for improvement. So it's this account here, Shell Oil. They have great variance year over year. They have a lot of room nights that are staying with us in 2018. But you'll notice here that their rate efficiency is relatively low. So remember, rate efficiency is, what's the ADR of this account versus our property-wide ADR? There's about a 19% difference between this account's ADR versus our property-wide ADR. So it's not a very efficient account. Also too, their length of stay, just from experience, I know that this 2.58 length of stay, it's relatively short. So they're probably taking the Tuesday, Wednesday midweek peak where we probably don't really want them so much, rather than staying on the Monday and Thursday, which is typically a signifier of a more lucrative account. 46% of their room nights do stay on nights that are 95% occupancy or higher, so that's a relatively big amount. They displace quite a bit of revenue. Their wish rate is at $217 versus their current ADR of $194. So there's a really huge disconnect between where their rate should be and where their rate is currently. So that's what's leading to this really, really high opportunity for the Shell Oil account. So taking a look at an account that I think is much, much better, I do have one picked out here, and it's going to be this account here that I have highlighted. So this Schlumberger account. Much like Shell, they're up really big year over year. but you'll notice that their ADR is looking pretty strong. Their current ADR is $204, so that's leading to a much higher rate efficiency. Their rate efficiency is 95%, so there's really not much of a big disconnect between our property-wide ADR and the rate that Schlumberger is getting. Also too, their length of stay is much longer than Shell's. They have a length of stay of 3.3 nights, and only 41% of their room nights currently stay on nights that are 95% occupied or higher. That gives us an opportunity of only about $1,900. Their wish rate is only at 209, so if we are to renegotiate with Schlumberger year over year, we would expect a little bit higher rate, but it's nothing like Shell. We're not going to need to renegotiate $20, $30 higher. Really, there's not a whole lot of room for improvement. If we can get them at 209, that would be fantastic, but they're already a pretty efficient account. So let's see if our hypothesis about their stay pattern is true. Let's start by looking at Shell. So what I'm going to do is just filter the Shell account. So let's take a look at Shell and let's see what their stay pattern looks like, and then let's compare it with Schlumberger. So you'll notice that I'm filtering only Shell, and then I'm going to scroll down here and take a look at the length of stay by day of week. Notice that with Shell, they really do only take Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays almost exclusively. And notice that on Wednesday night, a huge amount of these Shell rooms are staying as just one-nighters on Wednesday, which is really a stay pattern that we want to avoid. So that's probably what's causing that relatively short length of stay. And let's compare that with Schlumberger. And let's see how their stay pattern stacks up. Okay, so we're going to filter and just look at Schlumberger. And this is a huge difference. So notice that Schlumberger, much more often they take the Sunday night, they give us a Thursday night stay. So there's a lot of people that check in early in the week, and likely a lot of these guests like to stay over on the Thursday night. Also too, notice that they don't take many one-night stays. There are still some one-night stays, but the vast majority of the people that stay with Schlumberger are typically taking this 3 to 6 night length of stay, which is fantastic because that hits the shoulder dates, that gives us Monday nights and Thursday nights, and you even have some that are staying over the weekend, which is ideal for a corporate account. So you're able to discover all of these things just by using these metrics here. And again, this is a great tool if it's time to renegotiate with Schlumberger or Shell. Now you have some guidance. You know you need much better performance out of Shell. You know that Schlumberger is a nice, lucrative account that you want to keep around. And if you need to renegotiate, you don't really need to push for a much higher rate. So this will really be a big help. And this module is really nice to use when it's time for renegotiation. So I hope this has been educational, and thanks for watching.